Paolo Festa.
To Mr. Clooney, did you get in contact with Walter Kern, the writer of the book, and do you usually get in contact with when you play a role based on a book? And what can you tell us about your lady in the movie, Vera Farmiga? Thank you.
Oh, okay, so first of all, Walter is an extra in one of the scenes that we did. Walter was there. It's important to note that, and Walter, I love the book, and yes, certainly if you're sort of really going to do a book, then you'll go meet the writer and talk to him. I did that with Bob Baer when we did Syriana, for instance. But this film is very different than the book. The characters are very different. I don't think the girls are in it, or aren't even in the book. These are characters that Jason came up with. So in some ways, it was mostly just about doing the script. It was a really well-written script, and that's no knock on the book. I really love the book. So mostly it was just about doing that. And you're asking the film, are you talking about the American, the film I'm doing now? You said the latest film. Oh, Vera, wow, what an actress. You know, it was a funny thing because when we first started talking about who should play the part, this is the first person you brought up, and the complications came when our start date sort of ran smack into the fact that she was having a kid, which slows things down for a romantic comedy, sort of the end of the romantic comedy. So we had to, everything had to sort of work out timing-wise, and we were waiting for a bit of time. And I felt so bad for her because she was just sort of rushed from motherhood into acting sort of very quickly, but she just did it beautifully. She's a great soul, a really fun person to work with, and I really enjoyed every minute of it. I don't like Anna Kendrick, though. I don't like that girl.
Qualcuno al microfono? Lì? Una domanda lì?
Vorrei domandare al signor Clooney se è veramente balla così male nella vita come nel film, e al signor Reitman ho creduto di sentire quando escono i end credits che c'è un disoccupato che ha scritto la canzone del film. Ho capito bene? Kevin Rennick.
I'll do it. I'll talk about the unemployed guy, and you talk about my dancer. No. I am, you know, as an actor, I had to portray him as a terrible dancer. It was a choice I had made to make him a terrible dancer. In real life, I am one of the great dancers of all time. That's how good I am.
Given the choice, I should always talk first. I don't know why I ever try to talk after you. Kevin was a guy, after Juno, I became very accustomed to teenagers giving me songs that they wanted me to use in a film. But while I was in St. Louis shooting, I was speaking at a university, and a man in his 50s came up to me and gave me a song that he said was for the movie. And he handed me a cassette tape, and I had to figure out where I was going to listen to a cassette tape. Fortunately, I found a car with a cassette deck in it. And it was a man who had lost his job, who had been employed for 12, 15 years or so at the same company, and he wrote a song about it. And it wasn't the greatest song ever written, but he was particularly honest. And I feel like in America, our relationship with the amount of unemployed people, you know, about 1 million people have lost their job in the last year. It usually is just a number. You see it at the top of a newspaper, just a percentage point or a number, and we don't really get used to seeing a face. And two things I'm very proud of in this film is, one is that song that gives a voice to the many people who have lost their job in the last year. And he really speaks to the idea of what it's like to be searching for a purpose in the middle of your life. And also, there's 25 actors in the film, 25 people, who are people from St. Louis and Detroit who just lost their jobs. And you know, apart from the 3 or 4 actors that you recognize in the film, everyone who loses their job in the movie Up in the Air is someone who actually just got fired in the last year.
C'è un microfono lì per una domanda lì, prego.
Sono Maria Lombardo della Sicilia. Vorrei chiedere a Mr. Clooney, come l'abbiamo chiesto ieri a Richard Gere, cosa ne pensa del premio Nobel per la pace al presidente Obama e come americano quanto si sente rappresentato nelle sue speranze per il futuro da Obama.
Well, I was an early supporter of him, and I'm very proud to. I'm proud to be in a country that found Barack Obama and elected him. I think that it's a great moment. I hope that the Nobel Prize will do what it can to help the president move his foreign policy agenda towards peace. That's what the whole idea of the Nobel Peace Prize is. And I have great hope again, and continued hope with him, because I find that our country, at times when we most need someone great to step up, and you could look at Roosevelt, or you could look at Jefferson when we needed a constitution, or you could look at Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis, or you could look at times in our country when we most needed someone truly great to step up, and we got them. And so I'm very excited and proud to have him there, and I can't imagine what our country would be with anyone else in that seat. It's a very difficult time to be there. You know, if there was a job you really don't want, I think that's the one.
Buongiorno, Sabrina Lugetti per il Mattino, e volevo chiedere a Reitman, questo suo film ha molti punti in contatto con il suo precedente Thank You for Smoking, sia per le categorie di lavoro un po' particolari che svolgono il signor Clooney in questo e Eckhart nell'altro. Quindi la mia domanda è questa: è affascinato nel rappresentare questo tipo di personaggi un po' detestabili perché li vuole far sembrare più umani, o ci sono altre motivazioni?
There was a line in the book, Thank You for Smoking, that I always loved, and the line was, if you want an easy job, go work for the Red Cross. If you want a real job, go work for Big Tobacco. I like tricky jobs. I like tricky characters. And if you look at my 3 films, I've made movies about the head lobbyist for Big Tobacco, a pregnant teenage girl, and a man who fires people for a living. This is what gets me excited. It's what I'm naturally drawn to. It's not what I went into films to do, but after you make a few films, you start to realize what you are naturally drawn to, and I like to humanize very tricky characters.